Hi my friends, happy Sunday. So I wanted to share with you today a tool that I have been using recently to help me manage my inner critic. So I'm sure you're familiar with your own inner critic. We all have that part of us inside our head, this voice that is all day long giving us some harsh comments, criticism, judging us for the things that we do, the things that we don't do, how we look, what we eat, how we say something, how we not say something, and it's just incessant. And I think most of us have learned to live with that voice, but still having that voice in our head could really create some damage to our self-esteem, to our self-confidence, and even our ability to do things or not do things. So a lot of times we might actually procrastinate or not try to do something we really want because the inner critic's telling us, well, what's the point? You always mess it up. You're going to blow it, so why bother trying? Or very often, for me personally, it's the opposite. It's the inner critic telling me that what I'm doing, it's not enough. You need to do more. You need to try harder. So I noticed around Christmas, towards the new year, that voice was coming up a lot because I was struggling with some health issues, and like all I really wanted was to rest. But then there was that voice inside of me saying that, well, you are lazy, you're not being productive, there's so many things that you need to get done, so this is not okay. So what I decided to do, and it was a new exercise since around New Year, is that, so for a long time I've been tracking on a daily basis a lot of data about my life. Definitely one thing I'm tracking is, what are some notable activities and things that I do every day. So on the days when I'm not doing much, the list is pretty empty. It's like sleeping, taking a walk. That's about it. So what I started doing around the New Year's is that I added a column, a section to that particular, I use a spreadsheet, but it could be a journal. So I added a column for acknowledgement and pretty much like celebration. It's really a way for me to take a look at what I've done during that day and write an affirmation to really cheer myself on. So on those days around New Year's leading up to this moment, these few weeks, I've had quite a few days where my inner critic was definitely telling me that, what have you done today? Nothing. and so by the time I sit down at night, like I feel bad about myself. I feel like I'm going to have to try harder tomorrow. But what I started doing around New Year's is I added a column that allows me to really take stock of what I've done or not done during the day. And regardless, just accepting that myself as I am. And really consciously turning around that critical voice into something kinder, more encouraging. So on the days when I'm feeling not productive, I'll share with you a few affirmations I've written. One is I release outdated thinking that doing more means more results. Another one is I strike a healthy balance between doing and resting. I honor my body's needs and give myself the gift of rest. And I'm doing my best, and that is enough. And what I really love about this exercise is that it's not just writing, positive affirmations that, we've all been taught to do, but it's actually looking at any given day and really hearing your inner critic's voice, but then giving birth to also your inner cheerleader. So it's almost like the two of them can have a dialogue. So as the inner critic is saying that you're lazy, you're no good, your inner cheerleader could actually affirm, you know, the core qualities and the essence that you have and say, you know what, it's not true. You know, I have a different point of view. And even just introducing different viewpoints, you know, allows you to actually feel that sensation in your body, because you could really notice when you have the inner critic voice, like how you feel when that voice is talking to you. It's usually a sense of constriction, tightness, tension, versus when you have this inner cheerleader talk to you. Just pay attention to what that feels like in your body. It's usually some kind of expansion, more space, and you know, being able to indulge that, the physical sensations in our body could really help us get into a habit of being kinder to ourselves and being more compassionate. So I've only been doing this exercise for maybe like 3 weeks, and what I've noticed is that it's not like I can turn off the inner critic's voice, but it's really just allowing me the space to see the bigger picture, and really cheer myself on for all the hard work that I am doing that usually goes unacknowledged. And sometimes as I have the inner critic and the inner cheerleader talk to each other, you know, we could actually nudge the inner critic to maybe begrudgingly admit that I'm actually doing very well and I'm doing a lot. And, you know, so it's a way of just shifting our relationship between the different parts of ourselves and gain more acceptance and compassion. And, you know, as we are able to do more for ourselves, to be more compassionate and kind, we could also show up better in the world and being more kind to other human beings. So I hope that helps. And if you're interested in learning more about how you could shift relationship with your inner critic, I recently published a blog post that you could find on my website. In my bio, you'll find a link. So I welcome you to check it out if you're interested.